Morning to everyone. In the previous lecture, we discussed about what is meant by deflection and slope, what is the importance of the calculation of the deflection and slope. So, we made the relation slope, deflection and the curvature. Finally, we obtained the governing differential equation ei into d square y by dx square is equal to mx. So, then there are several methods to solve or to find out the slope and deflection of a beam from the governing differential equation, and means from this equation. However, the following methods are important from the subject point of view. The first one is the double integration method. Second one is the Macaulay's method. Third one is the moment area method. Fourth one is the strain energy method, and fifth one is the conjugate method. Here, while determining the slope and deflection for a particular case by using the double integration method, we have to calculate the constant of integration. So for that, we should follow the certain procedure. Again, let us see the initial position of the beam. Say this is the beam before apply the load. Then this is the beam after apply the load. So whenever the load is applied, simply this is called as curve, that is the deflected curve. So in which let us consider a small portion of PQ. So from that we made the relation, and finally we obtained the governing differential equation. So from this equation we can find out the slope and deflection by using the following methods. Before going to that, using the double integration method, we must know something. We have from differential equation there is a flexure that is equal to EI. So we know the E value. You can find out the I value from the geometry if it is not given. And then, so let us see the one equation that is equal d square y by dx square is equal to m. Say equation number 1. So then go for the integrate the first equation number 1. Integrate the equation number 1. With respect to the x, finally we get the equation number 2. Here we have to concentrate on the constant of integration, that is C1. So that is obtained by introducing by imposing the boundary conditions. It means we always familiar about the boundary conditions. What are the boundary? It means what is the slope at a particular point, what is the deflection at a particular point. So from the equation number 2, we will get the dy by dx. It means that is the slope that may be represented theta at any position along the beam, let us say theta x. It means, suppose this is a simply supported beam. So this is the position of the beam before apply the load. Whenever load is applied at a particular position, say as the midspan, this is the deflected curve. So I can find out the slope at A as well as B. So at any position, say as at a distance x from the end A, or x1 at the B, so as shown in figure. So once the second equation is integrated with respect to the x again, so we get the deflection. So again we have to impose the boundary condition, particularly regarding to the deflection, in which we can find out the C2 value, constant of integrity. Already, so by imposing the boundary conditions, particularly regarding to the slope, so we will get the C1. Then the equation number 2 is again, there is one more instead constant of integration, Then you can find out the C2 value also by imposing the boundary conditions, where C1 and C2 are the constant of integers, as we know that. So integrating the differential equation with respect to the x, we get the equation for slope and the deflection. So by using the double integration method, even though we have so many techniques, so one of the technique is the double integration method. By using the double integration method, we can find out the slope and deflection at any position. So before going to solve the problem for finding the slope and deflection of a particular beam subjected to a particular load, we should follow the following steps. Whatever the first step, write down the boundary conditions. It means what about the slope at a particular point and displacement, that is the deflection. So for the second one, as usually we know the governing differential equation EI into d square y by dx square. Here we have to concentrate the formulation of the bending moment equation mx for a particular problem. Then solve the governing equation by integrating expressions with known integration constant. How we calculate the integration constants? As we know that by incorporate or imposing the boundary conditions. Finally, so by applying the boundary conditions, determine the integration constant, find out the slope and deflection at any position. It means at a distance x from the known value. So this is very important terminology which is used in this concept. Here y is the deflection that may be represented delta also. As we know that dy by dx is the slope that may be represented theta. Here EI into d square y by dx square is equal to mx. This is the bending moment equation, so derived in the previous class with the relation slope, deflection and curvature. So suppose if it is differentiate once again with respect to the x, simply that gives the shear force. Alright. So then again if it is differentiate with respect to that, so that gives the rate of loading. As we know that EI is the flexural rigidity, so it is discussed in the earlier class also. So how the double integration method is used? For that, let us consider a simply supported beam. This is the simply supported beam of span length L. See, this is the span length L. Alright. This beam is loaded. When this beam is loaded, load W at the midpoint C. So this is the L by 2. This is again L by 2. Whenever the beam is subjected to a point load at midpoint of the span, so the beam is deflected. The beam is deflected. So this is the position of the axis before apply the load. So we know that the position of the load or curve, this is the deflected curve. It means this is the point A, this is B, this is say as W. So I think that what about the deflection and slope at any position? So as usually we know that governing equation, initially we have to find out the reaction force at A due to symmetric. This is W by 2. The reaction force at B, that is also W by 2. As we know that the governing equation EI into dy by dx, d square y by dx square is equal to m. So this is equation number 1. So initially we have to formulate the bending moment equation. Simply let us consider section XX, for example, section XX at a distance x from the end A. Let us see. Alright. So what about the bending moment equation? If you consider the portion or a force left the section upward is taken as positive, for example. So mx is equal, that is the per shear force. What about the bending moment? It produces the, this one produces the, it is already sagging moment. Mx is equal, very simple, W by 2 into x. This is the bending moment equation. So simply substitute m value in the equation number 1. What about that? EI into d square y by dx square is equal to W by 2 into x. Suppose if you want to use the, if you want to calculate the slope and deflection at any section by using double integration method, so for the equation number 2, so simply integral EI into d square y by dx square is equal integral W by 2 into x. This is the procedure. So simply the equation number 2 is integrated. So I think that EI is constant. Whenever it is integrated, this can be rewritten as d square y by dx square is equal, here I think that W by 2 is constant. Finally that may be rewritten as usually integral W by 2 into x. So whenever it is integrated, the equation is EI into dy by dx is equal W by 2 into x square by 2. See equation number 3. Here look into the boundary conditions. So this equation involves the slope. This equation involves the slope. What is the slope at A? What is the slope at B? What is the slope at a particular position along the length of the beam? For example, definitely if you draw the tangent at A, if you measure the angle horizontally with the tangent, that is the slope. We know that. Alright? So suppose if you draw the tangent at a particular point C, if you measure the angle with horizontally, there is no slope. It means the slope dy by dx is 0. It means at x is equal to 0, at x is equal to 0, so at x is equal to L by 2, at x is equal to, at x is equal to L by 2, definitely the slope dy by dx is 0. The slope dy by dx is equal to 0. Simply substitute dy by dx is equal to 0 in equation number 3. So simply here it is plus C1. So EI into 0 is equal to, so W by 4 into x is equal to L by 2, that is equal to L by 2 whole square plus C1. So from this equation C1 is equal to, that is equal to, C1 is equal to, so that is equal to WL square by 16. So here we find out the C1 value. Again substitute this C1 value in equation number 3. So what we did, simply let us see the substitute. We know that EI into d square y by dx square is equal to W by 2 into x. This is the equation number 1. once it is integrated, ei into d square y by dx square is equal integral w by 2 into x. So since it is constant, this is dy by dx is equal w by 2 into x square by 2 plus c1. So since we know that at x is equal to L by 2, so dy by dx becomes 0. Substitute dy by dx is equal to 0 in equation number 2. Finally, ei into 0 is equal w by 2 into L by 2 whole square plus c1 is equal to c1. So that is the equation c1. So from this, therefore c1 is equal w L square by 16. Simply substitute this value in equation number 2. So what we have to do? Substitute the c1 value in equation number 2. Finally, ei into, so dy by dx is equal, so wx square by 4. So it is the negative value minus w L square by 16. Say equation number 3. This is the equation for determining the slope. Equation for slope. So it means I can find out the slope at any point at x is equal to 0. So for example, what about the slope at a? So that is means at x is equal to 0. It means substitute x is equal to 0 in equation number 3. So ei into dy by dx is equal, so this term becomes 0 minus wl square by 16. So finally dy by dx is equal that is 1 by that is 1 by ei into wl square by 16. It means that is theta a. So once you differentiate the equation number 3 once again. So again differentiate the equation number 3. Integral ei into dy by dx is equal to integral wx square by 4 minus w L square by 16. So whenever it is integrated, it becomes ei into y, so is equal w by 4 into x cube by 3, we know that, minus, so wl square by 16 into x plus c2. Here we have to find out the c2, which is related to the y value, where y is the deflection. For example, let us see, this is the simply supported beam. It is the position of the simply supported beam before apply the load. Whenever load is applied, it would be the curve. So I think that the deflection at A is 0. It means that x is equal to 0. So at x is equal to 0, the deflection is 0. Simply substitute ei is equal to ei into 0 is equal, this term becomes 0, as usual this term is also becomes 0, c2 becomes 0. So finally what we did, we calculated the C1 and C2 value. The C1 is, finally the C1 is, say as, what about the C1? C1 is equal W L square by 16 and C2 is equal 0. It means by imposing the boundary conditions, we find out the constant, integration of the constant C1 and C2 as WL square by 16 as C1 and 0 for the C2. So this is the procedure to find out the slope and deflection by using the double integration method. So what we did really, we considered one example in which let us consider a simply supported beam of span length L, alright, and it is subjected to a point load at mid span as shown in figure. After loading, the beam is deflected. This is the deflected beam. This is the deflected beam. So initially we have to find out the reaction forces at the support RA and RB. So we know the governing equation, that is EI into d square y by dx square is equal to m. Here initially we have to formulate the bending moment equation. This is the one important parameter which is discussed in the second unit and as well as the third unit. So how to formulate the bending moment equation? So initially we have to find out the reaction forces subject to condition, then formulate the bending moment equation and substitute in equation number 1. In a particular case, whenever you consider the simply supported beam, so that equation becomes EI into d square y by dx square is equal to W by T into x. So now I would like to use the double integration method to find the slope and deflection. So what we have to do? So initially we have to integrate the equation number 2 initially. So once it is integrated, so that becomes EI into dy by dx is equal to, so W by 2 into x square by 2 plus C1. This is the one constant of integration. So that is to be calculated. The C1 value is obtained by introducing the or imposing the boundary conditions. What are the boundary conditions? So I think that the slope is there at end A and end B. The slope is 0 at C. The slope is 0 at C. It means at a distance x is equal to L by 2. So this is the important parameter while calculating the slope dy by C1. So when at x is equal to L by 2, the slope is 0. So by substituting these two values in equation number 3, we get the C1 value. Here C1 is equal to minus WL square by 16. So again this value is substituted in equation number 3. This value is substituted in equation number 3. So finally that becomes, so equation number 3, this is the final, this is the equation for the slope. You can find out the slope at any distance along the length. So whatever the slope at x is equal to 0, that means at A. So that is find out as 1 by EI into WL square by 16. So once the equation number 3 is again integrated, so we obtain one equation in terms of C2. Again impose the boundary condition. What is the deflection at a particular point? So the deflection at A is 0. That means y is equal to 0 at x is equal to 0. This is the important one. So today we discussed one method, that is the double integration method, to find out the slope and deflection by considering one example, a simply supported beam subject to a point load at midspan of the beam. Tomorrow we will discuss some more examples with other techniques. Thank you.